G'day warbanders, and welcome back to another video where I'm dissecting another game reveal or a new game that's coming out possibly in 2025, and that's a game called Battleplan. It's a World War II real-time strategy game that seems very similar to Hearts of Iron 4 or those other type of World War II RTSs where you're commanding armies on the map layer. And I think this is a game based on the division or army level. So it's set in the Western Front in World War II. It's developed by Foolish Mortals Games and published by Slytherin. Slytherin, I think, is a good publisher nowadays. They publish a lot of war games that I like, that I personally play. Of course, like any other company, they like to make money. But, you know, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to take a look at the game reveal and give you my thoughts on if I like what I'm seeing and what I don't like. Okay, so yeah, we'll just get straight into it. It's a 2-minute clip I'm just going to go through, and then we're going to talk about more of the game afterwards. But also I'm going to give you my thoughts as we go throughout this video.
At Slytherin, we have always believed in games that go beyond entertainment. Games that respect and simulate history.
You should always endeavor to do that when you're making historical war games. Of course, you have to balance, you know, playability, you know, with historical accuracy. But yeah, that's a good focus to have.
Known for our classic X-based strategy titles, we are now pushing the genre forward.
I think this is the marketing lady, eh? Damn.
In collaboration with Foolish Mortals,
Yeah, so Foolish Mortals, they made a game called Radio General. So they have a good track record. They've made that game was about commanding your troops using a radio based on a map. So this is a big step up for them to developing a large-scale war game, and I'm interested to see if they can, you know, be a competitor to Paradox in this space, because, as you know, Hearts of Iron 4 is a very popular franchise, a franchise that I despise. Hearts of Iron 4. I like the older Hearts of Iron 4, like Hearts of Iron 3 and Hearts of Iron 2. I think they're better games because I just hate focus trees. I'll just say that up front. I hate focus trees. I hate the alternative history focus in Hearts of Iron 4, but I digress.
Plan reimaging strategy with a fresh, intuitive approach that breaks from tradition and delivers a new level.
We always like a few games that break from tradition. Always love it. Too many war games that, you know, they stay in the mold way too long.
Of depth and immersion. Battleplan isn't just another World
So
War.
here we got our first sort of reveal what the game looks like, and already I like the, you know, the map. I'm liking the sort of Hearts of Iron 4 controls. So it looks like you're not actually on the ground commanding your troops. You're actually in a bird's eye view, directing your troops, not microing them like in Hearts of Iron 4. And the UI seems pretty clean from what I'm seeing. You got some resources at the top here that I can't really see. We'll look at that in the screenshots. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. And we also got a heat map of the troops. So that's an interesting thing that not many war games do, with heat maps representing troop concentrations. Not many games do that, which is what I love to see.
RTS. It offers an unprecedented level of depth.
The gameplay seems pretty fast too. Those armored divisions are going really fast, and you can see the road networks there. I'm sure they'll play a role massively in the game, because if you have control of those roads in, you know, that World War II period, it's pretty important for logistics, and they're going to go into more depth about logistics later on.
And control. You command an entire division from headquarters down to reflect companies.
Okay, so I was a little bit wrong on that thing. They're actually going down to the company level, which is pretty good. I like to have some granularity. And yeah, that's good. That's great.
With a fully working chain of command.
Okay, so we got some chain of command here with an order of battle, it seems like. So we have the 3rd Armored Division, the 4th Infantry Division, 9th Infantry Division. So these are all American units, I'm pretty sure. I wonder how that plays in the game though. Does this have a purpose, this chain of command? Does it, you know, can you customize this? Does it result in communication inefficiencies? I want to see that hopefully shown the game, but it seems like you get these commands to choose from, like assemble, hold line, defense in depth. So I assume these are all the commands you can give to your units at the division level, that's a big amount of commands. So I'm happy to see that.
But what really...
You can also lay some minefields, which is pretty interesting. What happens if you span the minefields everywhere? Bro, that'd be funny.
stacks is the planning phase. You don't micromanage.
I like the pencil. I like that you can actually... It's actually not province-based, so it's like an RTS. And I like that you can draw like a circle and go, I want you to hold that ground. I think that's a very unique mechanic. I like Hearts of Iron 4, where it's a bit more janky to draw front lines and where you want to attack. That's another thing I don't like about Hearts of Iron 4 is the front line mechanics are very broken, that like it's better to not use them at all. Like you still have to use them, like, because if you don't use the frontline mechanics in Hearts of Iron 4, you get a penalty for preparation and all that. It's been a while since I played. Maybe they changed that because I don't play games I don't like. But yeah, it's good to see that they've innovated. They're not just copying Hearts of Iron 4 one for one.
Units here. Instead, you create elaborate multi-phase battle plans by literally drawing them on the map.
Nice.
Just like a real commander would.
Which is what real commanders would do. They draw on a map, they talk to their subordinates and go, hey, I want you to go take this town or this city. However you do that is up to you. Of course, it depends on the type of time period, the army. I know that German commanders in World War II had a bit more freedom than their counterparts, because that's how they were able to do those lightning advances in the beginning of the war, because they had the German armored columns. They just had more freedom to do their objectives. So that's an interesting gameplay aspect. I hope they look at how much difference is there going to be in the German forces compared to the Allied forces. I'm hoping that we were going to get different theaters in this World War II game, because it seems like it's going to be just the Normandy land invasion, which has been done so many times over and over again. And I'm hoping that they'll release a DLC to do on the Eastern Front. Like, imagine this game on the Eastern Front with all these units. It'll be such a large-scale game, which I love to death.
You can draw a line to form a front line or sketch out an attack route for your forces to follow. Want to defend an area?
Okay, we got some aircraft modeled in the game. I can see some AA guns. So there's actually some 3D models for all the units, which is cool.
Sides ground or bombard the zone.
I wonder if there's airfields you can build in the game, because a lot of these aircraft, I assume, come from temporary airfields. I'm not a huge World War II buff. Like, World War II isn't my favorite period of history, but I do know that temporary airfields were built. So I wonder if we can do that. And it seems like you control your division, so it's on the division level, and you can give each division a different command, which is kind of nice. I wonder how sequenced and detailed you can make the plans, though. Like, is it only just one command, as they show here, or you can plan multiple? No, you can't plan multiple. There's 2 of them here. So, okay, we can do some complex stuff then.
Just draw a circle over it, and your troops will know what to do. The actual battle graphics, I think they need to be tuned up. It looks a bit underwhelming with those shooting effects, but I like the map. I like the the clouds and all that. I think this is going to be about staring at a map, looking at your forces like an ant farm. Basically, it's not going to be about focusing on the ground as much. So I can see why they wouldn't put much detail on the models themselves. The basic unit of the game is a division made up of thousands of soldiers split among dozens.
Oh, what an interesting formation you got there. What's those little houses there? Is that like the supply depots? Interesting.
Of companies. The companies are the one doing the moving and fighting. When you give a division an order, it automatically assigns.
You can see the supply line. So that is actually the supply depots you place down. So this is giving me a lot of Unity of Command 2 vibes right now. Like the style of the game is looking a lot like that. And there's also intel in the game. So there's Fog of War. That's granted. So I'm interested to see how much they'll play in the game. Can we play as the Germans? Please let me play as the Germans. We also got some surrendering mechanics. So there's going to be morale. Interesting.
It companies to carry it out. You give high-level commands, then watch as the...
Yeah, this needs to be touched up. I feel like these graphics are a little bit too simplistic. They just sort of glide across the map a little bit. I know it's like an early build they're showing us, but hey, it's better. Yes, alpha footage. It's better that they show gameplay instead of just giving us cinematics like a lot of other games. I prefer you showing me an unfinished build than just doing flashy cinematics and not showing me any gameplay. I prefer this unfinished look.
Individual companies scurry in...
Oh, good. Is that artillery? Yeah, so you got artillery in the back there. Very interesting.
Direction like a swarm of ants. You'll be watching your supply lines.
Man, it looks like it's going to be huge when you get into like the larger French theater. When you're off the beaches. I wonder how the beach invasion will work. Will just spawn you there? Like you don't have to do the beach combat, because you know I think doing the Normandy invasions, the Allies, like on the beach itself would be kind of boring. But yeah, this is very interesting. I want to see this on the Eastern Front. I want to see this in the Pacific. Imagine playing this game in the Pacific Theater with your aircraft carriers and naval. I don't see any naval combat, so I don't think there's going to be any ships or like subs or U-boats. Just air combat artillery. So it's going to be land based. And we can see supply lines. So you can see some rates per hour. So tons per hour. So that's going to be an interesting thing, where you have to look at how much supply or throughput you're putting through the lines to the front lines. Very cool.
Advances moving units. It's all simulated second by second across missions that last days or even weeks.
Okay, so you place down supply depots, and very nice. We saw that before.
Supply arrives from off-map into major hubs, ports.
Okay, so supplies and logistics, they're actually, yeah, they come off map. So there's no like building factories like in Hearts of Iron 4 or Shadow Empire. You don't build logistical buildings. So it's a bit more war gamey in that sense.
Or train yards. And from there flow.
Train yards. So there's going to be some trains. I don't see any trains in this gameplay though. Maybe they're not showing it yet.
Goes into player-placed supply depots.
Very nice. So we get to decide where our supplies come from, which direction. I'm hoping the AI is going to be good enough to exploit that. I'm hoping the AI doesn't cheat, because in a lot of strategy games, unfortunately, developers, you know, they love cheating AIs to make up the shortcomings of their games. And I understand why, but I'm hoping that this is a challenging game.
Depots, then feed your divisions. You need to position your depots.
I wonder if this is going to be playable on my PC. That's lots of units.
Close enough to keep your units well supplied, but not so close that they get overrun. And yes, you can.
Yeah, I wonder how historical this game is, because I just feel like the Germans in France by 1944 are sort of just like they've been beaten already. But it's a game, so I don't mind that. That's why I prefer the Eastern Front, because it's more of an even match, you know. And, you know, like the Germans, they still kind of had a chance at the beginning, kind of. They could have turned it around a little bit if they were lucky, but yeah. It's just funny seeing the Germans like fighting constantly. And look, they're adding SS units, guys. You can see the SS Panzer divisions. Bro, they're not actually being pussies. Okay, because a lot of the Panzer divisions, like the elite ones, were SS troops. So I'm happy that they're actually adhering to the history and adding the sort of controversial symbols related to the SS. So points to them for adding that.
Capture enemy depots and turn their own stockpiles against them.
Please don't demonetize me.
From infantry and tanks to engineers, artillery, and the air support.
Okay, we got some engineers. So can we like blow up bridges? I'm hoping that this game like goes into the Operation Market Garden. That was such an interesting World War II campaign with paratroopers and the focus on the bridges. But again, the Germans were pretty weak by that time, so maybe not be an interesting scenario. But hey, I want to see lots of scenarios in this game, and it looks like there's only going to be one scenario. From what I'm seeing, I'm hoping that it's not just one scenario. I'm hoping that they want to expand more on that. But yeah.
Every unit plays a distinct role. Scouts reveal enemy position, 80 guns take out armor, engineers handle fortification.
Okay, so we got some unit variety, air guns and all that, that's pretty good.
And minefields. Recon plays scout ahead, and fighter bombers strike to support your offensive.
Okay, every unit, that's what I expect them to do. Yeah, combat seems a bit weird though. I like that there's no like enemy air, because like, yeah, the Luftwaffe by this point were just kind of dead. So that's probably why there's no enemy aircraft right now.
There is a full campaign with...
This is the problem with wargaming the Normandy invasion. It's just beating a seal dog. Like, it's just like not fun, because, you know, the Germans by this point are just fighting a losing war. There's no chance for them to come back from this when they, you know, once the Americans are in, you know. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they tackle that.
Persistent forces. Your army evolves over time. Officers gain experience, units suffer losses, rest, return. Divisions will be customized and straightened. Battleplan isn't just our next release. It defines what the next generation of strategy games
Next generation's a bit of a bold claim.
can be. Join the beta now on the Slytherin website and be part of this journey.
Yeah, I'll be definitely joining the beta, or the beta as she says. Yeah, so we're just going to take a look at their Steam page. Just a quick second, have a look at their screenshots. Let's have a deeper look at it, anything's new. So there is a planning phase, so you can create these plans before the action begins. Unfortunately, guys, there is a time limit. Look at the top right, there's a time limit. Oh no, please don't add time limits to your game, it's not fun. I hate time limits in video games. I know that the Allies, they were on a timetable. They had to defeat the Germans quickly, open up a second front, all that jazz, you know? But come on, guys. You know, time limits are not fun for players. I get it. You know, you want to add some artificial difficulty, but please, come on. The majority of players I've seen, they just don't like time limits, and it's going to hamper your game. And we got a closer look at those resources at the top. So we've got manpower, and we got, is that like a representation of resources? I think so, the top there. And then we got our fuel or supplies per hour, like tons. And then we got a 4 4. I don't know what that means. Probably a general thing or something, like an officers. And yeah, we got our chain command, we got our troops. And we got the composition of the division. So there's actually some modeling going on there. So you can see some artillery. Those are NATO symbols. I like NATO symbols. You got cavalry. You got some trucks there. So I'm hoping that you can sort of customize these, but they're probably set in stone. I'm actually not sure if you can actually directly control any of these units. Like, you can't micro any unit. It's all done by the battle planning system. I wonder if weather is going to play a huge role in the combat. I'm hoping, because you can see all this cloud cover. Will that affect air combat? I'm not sure. Ooh, look at this. That's very busy, man. Like, look at all those little symbols. I don't know what that means. Hopefully they fix that. That's a bit of a mess, but I like the large scale. The large scale maneuvering of these troops. I like that. It's going to be good. I just tapped my microphone there. Oh, and then we got... Okay, so it's going to be a scenario based. So you're going to go from mission to mission. And then you can construct your own army, like to use like a persistent army through these scenarios. It looks like it's going to be focused on Western Europe. But they do have a scenario like outside of Germany. Like, I mean, in Germany, sorry. So yeah, I'm just hoping for a market garden campaign. And then we got this mission. Oh. Mission briefing, bring on units. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be a big Hearts of Iron 4 competitor. It looks like just like a standard war game with RTS elements that takes a lot of inspiration from Hearts of Iron. But if you're expecting like a World War II, you know, sandbox, I don't think it's going to be the game for you. But the gameplay looks very cool. seems like you won't be able to play as the Germans. You only play as the Allies, but for individual scenarios, you also take on the roles of Germans, which I understand. Like, I was bringing up those concerns before because, you know, playing as the Germans in the Normandy invasion is a bit fucked because it's very hard to, you know, beat history in that sense because the Germans by this time are just out of options. So yeah, guys, that's Battleplan. I hope you like my breakdown of this war game. I'm hoping it does well because I'll cover it and, you know, play it when it comes out. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think this is a Hearts of Iron 4 that's like a little bit better or a little bit worse? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this World War II game. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.